Stan Becton for NCAA Digital here with Montana State head coach Brent Vigen, and they're about to play in the 2021 FCS National Championship game. So, Coach, it's your first year as a head coach, and you already have your team in the national title game. Did you envision this when you first took over this role back in February?
Well, thanks for having me on. I think first off, I took over a program that was in a good place, having made the semifinals in 19, and knew that there was an abundance of talent, a group of guys that had come back, determined to take another step in 2020, and 2020 didn't happen for them. So I thought it was something we definitely could do, but there was going to be a lot of work that would have to go into all that. February through August. And then, I think this season, it was going to be a matter of us continuing to improve throughout the fall, which I think we've done. And, we got into the playoffs, and I think we've played our best ball as of late. So, hopefully that can continue.
Yeah, and you guys are on a winning streak entering the national championship game. You guys have won all your playoff games, of course. And, of course, you're no stranger to winning. You have won 3 national championships in the previous roles as an offensive coordinator. Of course, you will be playing that same team that you won those championships with, North Dakota State, in this FCS championship game here on Saturday. Would it be a special feeling if you were able to beat a team that you have so much history with, of course, as a player as well? And what would it mean to be able to pick up a win against them?
Well, I think what would it mean? That's the team we're playing. And for our program, who hasn't won a national championship since 1984, hasn't competed for one, but has a rich history, have won 3 national championships at 3 different levels. That's what it would mean the most to, you're brought into as a head coach to maximize a football team's potential. And I think that would be a sign that we did that. And the fact that it's against North Dakota State, I think would really be a sense of accomplishment with all that they've been able to do in the past decade, which I was a part of at the beginning. But, I think personally for me, I think the fact that we're playing them is certainly unique, but, they are the team we're playing. We're trying to accomplish something that hasn't been accomplished here in a long, long time, but we look to add to the rich history of Montana State football.
So heading into your first experience as a head coach in a national championship game, what things have you been able to take with you from that experience in North Dakota State that can help you in this game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just how to manage this 3-week window. It's not something that at this level you get unless you get in this game. I think a lot of FBS programs are accustomed to having bigger windows with bowl games, and that can go from one year to the next. But in the FCS, the only way you earn even a 2-week window, so to speak, is to get in this game, and just how to manage that correctly with the holidays in there, coming off of for us, a really physical couple of weeks, as we played South Dakota State, Sam Houston, UT Martin, so allowing our guys to regroup, get home and see families, but then really get prepared. I think that's been the biggest thing that I take from that experience before. I do think once we get down to Frisco, being on a game site from Wednesday on is certainly something that's different. So I think that's, certain that's in front of us yet, but that's the other part of the experience I know I'll draw from.
Yeah, and you mentioned that 3-week break in between the semifinal game and this championship game. Have you been able to use that experience to kind of heal up and get some extra game planning in?
Yeah, I think so. I the heal up piece for sure. We're 14 games into it. We had, we played that last game without several of our key guys, so working those guys back, working some guys back that were lost pretty early in the fall, that December was kind of their return to play time, late December, I guess. So, I think the healing up piece, both physically and mentally, I think for our guys to be able to get home for a few days and spend time, with their families, be able to decompress a little bit was important. And then on the game planning side, yeah, you try to utilize as much as you can. You have we had a couple of days in front of the Christmas break to get the game plan implemented, the real basics, and then, brought them back and We've been at it for quite a few days now, and I think our guys are taken to what the plan is. I think as coaches, there's always a tendency to keep looking at film and to keep finding things. I think you got to be smart there. We got here because we've done some things really well, and you want to stay for the most part within that box, I guess. So, and we're facing a program in North Dakota State that I'm sure sees this time very similarly. Get healed up, both mentally and physically, and prepare like crazy. And we know to beat them, we'll have to be just that. We'll have to be very well prepared.
Yeah, so coach, on the field against North Dakota State, you mentioned in the past that your programs are pretty similar in the fact that both teams play great defense, top two scoring defenses in the country. Both have had great rushing attacks all season long. So when you're playing in this FCS championship game, how has it been as far as the challenges playing a team that's so similar to one like yourself?
Well, I think you have to understand that the margins for victory and defeat are really thin. And what it's going to come down to on Saturday is, who can execute better, who can, I don't know if it's playing harder necessarily, but who can play as fast as possible. Who's going to really limit their errors, and those errors could be turnovers, lost opportunities, maybe in the red zone, scoring, certainly, mental mistakes, which, I think both programs have been very good at limiting those. So just allowing our guys to play as fast as we can, take advantage of opportunities, and protect that football. I think those are the things that are really going to be the difference on Saturday.
Well said, coach. Well said. And also on the field, you have had experience on the offensive end. I know we just mentioned a little bit about defense and things like that, but your background comes from offense. So you were able to coach players like Carson Wentz, Josh Allen, and more great quarterbacks. And now you have a freshman quarterback, Tommy Mellott, who made his first start in the playoffs. What did you see leading up behind the scenes to get Mellott ready and knowing that he would be ready for a big stage like this one you're going to face in the championship game?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. We played 11 games through that regular season, and Tommy was on the field quite a bit. So it wasn't a case that he hadn't played, and by playing, he was playing some snaps at quarterback, some at receiver, and playing in special teams. So you knew that being out on that game field was not going to be overwhelming, just being out there. He'd been effective as a runner for sure in a lot of our games. And then, I think the behind the scenes part of it was seeing him continue to develop as a passer, and understanding too that, Tommy was preparing himself every week, if the quarterback opportunity would be larger than it maybe was. So, his continued efforts, preparing, but then, I think just in practice, continuing to develop as a passer, those things combined with the fact that he'd been out on that game field quite a bit, I think led us to believe that, he was going to give our team the best opportunity moving forward. And, I don't think the moment has been too big for him. I think some young guys, that's the case. It hasn't been. And I know his confidence has continued to build throughout the playoffs. And I know our team's confidence in him is at a tremendous level right now.
And coach, before we go, this will be the first time Montana State plays in a national title game since 1984. It would be the first time that Montana State also is able to win a national title game since 1984 as well. You guys are going to be playing in front of a sold-out crowd in Frisco, Texas. They've already announced that. And you've been great talking about the Montana State fans all season long, especially for those home games and that semifinal home game. What would it mean to be able to bring a national title and end that drought and bringing that title back to Bozeman, Montana?
Oh, it'd be unbelievable. I think we have such a passionate fan base. We sold out all 6 of our home games during the regular season. We had an amazing crowd here for UT Martin. We had an even better crowd in the semifinal win over South Dakota State. And I know we have not only fans across our state of Montana, but fans across this country that are very hungry for what you just said, reaching the top, and to bring that home for Montana, for Bozeman, Montana, for Bobcat Nation all across this country, would just be an awesome feeling. I know our players have been lifted up so much by our fans, whether that's in the stadium or just in general. So, it'll be unbelievable to see, the blue and gold down there in Frisco, but to bring a championship home would be something.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining me, and best of luck in the national championship game.
All right. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks a lot. Go Cats.